tuning in live, that is because you are looking at possibly starting up your own pest control business and you're just wondering, man, who has done it? Who has started their own pest control business? Specifically, maybe who has started from zero? If you don't know who I am, of course, or know my story or anything like that, first, welcome to the channel. Welcome to our community, first and foremost. And my name is Griffin Thomas, of course, and I actually own a pest control company myself. Prefer pest management in the Dallas, Texas area. And on my channel overall, I just kind of document that entire journey. I actually started my business back in 2020, about 4 years ago now. I started that with zero money. I had to sell a car that I had, and I had to cash out what little amount of money, a couple $1,000s I had in a 401k. It added up to less than $10,000, and I still had to go buy a truck and all my equipment, keep in mind. But I took that little amount of money, zero essentially, and turned it into a six-figure business my first year. And I posted a video about that a couple years ago. It took off like fire, still getting views to this day. A lot of you guys, I've gained like almost 300 subscribers just from that video alone, and it's continuing to get views day by day. So, I was like, okay, there's a lot of people looking to start a pest control business, a lot of pest control technicians looking to maybe go out on their own, which I'm always an advocate for, as long as you're willing to put in the work and, realize that it's not necessarily as easy as a lot of people make it sound, or maybe even the math that you do in your head, because I know, speaking of head, my neck is killing me today. I know whenever I was a pest control technician, I did the math, right? I was like, man, I'm doing roughly 100 at the time, before COVID inflation, all this crazy stuff. I worked at Terminix I started in like 2017, 2018, and I worked there for about 3 years. And I was doing the math, right? We all do the math. We're like, man, my average stop is 130, 150, whatever your average stop is for the company you're working for. And you think to yourself, man, what if I did this myself, right? What if I went out and started my own and did it myself? And while that is the right mindset, like, you have to know the math, you have to figure out everything else. Like, you don't think about, how am I going to get the phone to ring? Am I going to have to door knock? Like, everything just to actually get on the map and start getting phone calls first and foremost, because obviously, going and stealing customers is not a good strategy. Even with all the news about non-competes ending, it doesn't mean that you can steal intellectual property at the end of the day. So, that's kind of what all we talk about here in general. I know a lot of you guys will be trickling in. You're already subscribers of mine, but if you're not already subscribed to anything that I've talked about the first 2-3 minutes here, sounds like it might benefit you, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell icon, the drill, that way you won't miss any of these future live streams or videos that we put out. I'm trying to go live a little bit more often, especially in this like vertical format, because apparently they're putting it in the short feed now, and we're getting a lot of new following from that as well. And of course, anytime you see the word Q&A, or really anytime I go live, it's more of a conversation than anything. It means, drop your questions about starting your own pest control business down below. And I say pest control business, really any service business. Everything we talk about here will benefit, HVAC businesses, plumbing businesses, pressure washing businesses, whatever type of service you offer. A lot of what we talk about here, especially in terms of like customer acquisition, generating leads, tracking everything, just everything from a business ops standpoint will definitely benefit you. But what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to actually get some questions pulled up that we've got over the last couple of days. Usually I try to stay on top of it, responding to everybody, but in some cases it can be difficult. First one that I'm going to dive into was from Bug Out Termite Pest Control, longtime viewer of ours, commented 2 days ago on our live stream where we talked about, starting a pest control business, taking it from 0 to 6 figures. And he commented and was asking about, let's see, he said, it sounds like for roach services, he said, price here locally at $425 plus tax with 1 to 2 free follow-ups. And I've yet to win one of those bids. I use bait, dust, point source, all that good stuff, inside and out. I feel what I'm providing is excellent price. What do you think? And again, this is for roach calls. I'm assuming German roach calls based on the price and the follow-up protocol. And he's asking, what do I think about the price? Now, obviously, pricing is going to be subjective. How's it going there, Wings of Fire? Good evening. Obviously, pricing is going to be subjective based on where you're located, how the economic conditions are in your area, the competition level in your area. Like, there's a lot of moving variables with that. With that being said, I don't feel like your pricing is crazy or anything. I will say a lot of times we try to give people options. So, you start out with, for example, he says here, 425 plus tax. That includes 1 to 2 follow-ups. I would get rid of the whole 1 to 2. I would just say 2 follow-ups or 1 follow-up. I wouldn't do, this whole maybe 1, maybe 2, just depends on what you need. I would just say either it includes 2 follow-ups or it includes 1 follow-up. Like, make it crystal clear to them. And then what we do is we offer usually a quote-unquote discount in terms of, for a German roach treatment, which again is what I'm assuming he's referring to here. What we will do is say it's a normal home, 2,500 square foot or less, and they got them, in the kitchen or whatever area that they're most common in, usually kitchen from our experience. We would go ahead and say, if you want to pay for 3 treatments up front, which we highly suggest, that's usually what most German roach jobs take us to completely get rid of them. If you pay for all of that up front, it would just be $595 plus tax. That's our price for most of them. So, what does that come out to? Roughly $200 a treatment. Actually, just under that. Or you can just pay as you go, because we understand everyone's situation is different. Sometimes, we can get lucky and get rid of them after 1 treatment. It's completely up to you at that point. But what we do is we would go ahead and charge $275 plus tax per treatment. So as you can see, Mrs. Jones, whatever the customer's name is, you definitely save quite a bit of money. You're essentially almost getting a whole service for free when you go ahead and just pay for the 3 treatments up front. But again, it's completely up to you. So that's how we, go about that. So hopefully that kind of answers that question. Let's see. Have you read the books? What books are you referring to? Let's see. Get the door? What do you mean, get the door? Whatever that means. Let's see, Wings of Fire? No, I have not. I was never really a big reader. Funny enough, makes sense being a business owner. I've always been more into like math and, quote unquote nerdy stuff like that. Let me see. Trying to see if we... Scott Copley asked, how can we contact you? Usually the best way, I just seen this actually, this was like a month ago. Easiest way is like in our Discord group, Facebook group, of course. Let's see. What else? And I'm going to also look at ones that we have responded to. This one isn't a question. It's actually a comment, which the comment isn't wrong, but I'll address it real quick. They said large corporations and the pest control industry buying up some of the smaller companies is driving margins down in the pest control industry. While this can be true depending on the companies that are in your area, for the most part, it's actually the complete opposite. A lot of these companies are, a lot of these companies that are first starting out, one-man show that, again, like we were talking about at the very beginning of the stream, when you're first a pest control technician and you're thinking about, let me go ahead and try to launch my own business, all this stuff, you think to yourself, man, like, there's no reason that I can't provide this service for $50 a quarter, $70 a quarter, whatever price that you think. Usually a lot of people think 50% of what the company they're working for is charging. That mindset is actually what has caused, at least in my area, the Dallas, Texas area, most of the margins to shrink, pricing to shrink, all of that. Because, large companies, they have the smallest margins because they have so much overhead. They don't just have technicians, they have technicians, service managers, branch managers, regional managers, It goes up the chain, CEOs, CFOs, all this stuff. And then, of course, you got, the marketing costs. They have so much more overhead than the smaller company. So it's actually the complete opposite, really. It's not the large companies buying up the smaller companies or driving margin down. It's that there's so many small companies out there that's driving the price down, if that kind of makes sense. Because usually, I don't know about you guys, those of you that actually have a pest control business and you've been around the block for a little bit, usually the smaller companies tend to be priced the cheapest, right? And then the bigger companies tend to be priced the highest. So, like I said, the comment, it's actually inverse. The amount of small companies there are is actually driving the margin down. Let's see. Wings of Fire says, I'm a sub. Oh, that's awesome. Nice to have you here. Camo, how's it going? Did you start your business, or how did you get into your profession? So, because in this industry specifically, like a lot of, quote unquote trades like HVAC, plumbing, pest control, all these trades, service businesses, whatever you want to refer to them as, you usually have to start out at a company as what's called like an apprentice technician. There are ways in the pest control industry you can kind of bypass that by like going to college in a, what do they call it, like an applicable degree, usually something like entomology, biology, some type of science degree that kind of correlates. Each state is different, obviously, but the easiest way to do it and get paid while you're doing it is just go work for a pest control company. I started out in the industry at a mosquito company and then transitioned over to one of the largest company, actually the largest company, or I guess second largest company, Terminex, back in like 2017, 2018. I worked there for a few years, and then finally, when I lost my job in 2020 during all that COVID crazy stuff, started my business. I lost my job literally 4 days before becoming certified, and then the day I got certified, we just hit the ground running. Put my car on Facebook Marketplace, got it sold, pulled the equity out of that car because it was paid off at least, thankfully. So pulled the equity out of that car by selling it, put some of that money down on our first truck that I just got rid of recently, and yeah, just kind of hit the ground running. All in all, if we didn't have a kid in between that time, I probably would have even started earlier, but like the saying goes, where you have a plan, God laughs at it and has different plans for you. But yeah, no, usually like in Texas, for example, if you don't go the school route, say you go to a pest control company first, pretty much it takes about a year, 1 to 2 years before you jump through all those loopholes because, like I say, you become a apprentice technician first. I forget how long it takes. I want to say 6 months, maybe something like that. You become eligible to take the technician exam. Pest control, termite control in general. There's 3 different tests that you have to take. Then you become a technician. You have to be a technician for 1 whole year before you are eligible to take the same exams, but they're a little bit harder, essentially, for becoming a certified applicator. So all in all, I tell people plan on 2 years if you're going to be doing it in Texas. It's pretty common everywhere else that it takes, 1 to 2 years. But, you think about it, like I tell people, I would rather go to a company, regardless of which profession it is, too. I don't care if it's pest control, plumbing, electrician, HVAC, whatever it may be. I would rather go to a company, get paid, be learning about the business, especially if you go to either A, a really, really small company, or B, a really, really big company, both of which ironically seem to have you do everything. As the technician, you learn a lot of what to do, you learn a lot of what not to do, and you're getting paid for it. Where if you go that college route where, you take like we said, some type of, usually it's like a 2-year program that you need to take, 2 to 4 year. Again, it depends on the state requirements, but you go that route. Sure, you're not having to necessarily go to work, but to me, you're getting a disadvantage because sure, you learned all the nerdy scientific stuff about bugs and all this stuff, but you didn't actually learn anything from the business side. Where again, if you go to one of the really small companies or really large companies, they kind of throw everything on your plate. And, I always say, if it wasn't for me starting at Terminex before launching my own pest control business and, trying to, go in the back way and, not put in that 1 to 2 years, I definitely wouldn't be where I was today. I wouldn't have the knowledge. I think, like Mark here just even mentioned, you need the infield training. Same, exactly. I haven't even hit on that yet. Like you learn so much by just going out there and doing it. And, just from, I think it just helps you become overall like well rounded, especially when you go in as a technician. I don't necessarily think being something like a service manager or even in sales, I don't think either. I mean, of the two, probably being the service manager, you would learn more because you're learning about a lot of the back end stuff, the KPIs, and all this different stuff that helps you know kind of where the business is going in terms of projections and what we need to do and all this. But I would definitely say you need to try to be either a service manager or a technician. I would not do, sales unless if you just want to do it for a short season to kind of freshen up your sales skills if you plan on door knocking and things of that nature. But a lot of you guys know that have been following me for a while. You guys know we've done zero door knocking. The closest door knocking that we've done, I say we, it's been me doing all the customer acquisition stuff to date, was passing out some door hangers, clover leafing, around the customer. So what we mean by that is, say you have a customer here in the center, and then you have two across the street, two beside the customer. We just go tag those doors real quick. But in terms of door knocking, I've done zero door knocking. I literally took my business, like I said, from 0 to 6 figures strictly by my online strategy, doing lead generation through our Google business profile, Google local service ads, a very, 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 very tiny bit of Yelp, which I would not suggest. I don't like Yelp ads at all, but we did toy around with it a little bit. And yeah. Camo said, that's really interesting. Good on you. Yeah, no. I mean, I always tell everybody, that's the beauty of, the service industry, trades, whatever you want to call them, is a lot of them really have a low bar of entry where you don't need, say, 500,000, 50,000, 100,000. Like, you don't really need a lot of money to get started. You don't have to go to school for freaking 4, 8, 10 years before you can get started. You don't have to get a whole bunch of student loan debt to get started. Like, it's just a matter of simply going and applying for a job, working there, busting your balls for, a few years at the most, saving up a little bit of money, and then just pulling the trigger. Doing things like watching webinars, YouTube videos, whatever the case may be, about the type of industry that you're looking at going into. And then whenever you think you got enough information, enough resources to go ahead and launch, then, going ahead and making that jump ultimately. Let's see, how's it going there? Shout out some of y'all. Tropical Fruit Loops and King Matt checking in. I'm having a week, few days, rainy past few. Yeah, that's how it was for us to end the month of May. A lot of you guys that keep up with anything weather or news related probably know. Down here in Texas, it's been like monsoon season. I saw something that said like since March 4th, we got like 20 something inches of rain, which is like usually what we get in a whole year in a 2 month period. It's just been crazy, kind of setting a lot of stuff behind. But I actually just sold a $2,200 termite job Thursday afternoon. So now that we're starting to dry out and heat, not dry out necessarily, but have a few days of dry, we're getting a lot of termite swarmers starting to kick back up and things of that nature, which is very late. Usually we do not see a lot of termite swarms in June, but I just seen some, 2 days ago. So it's good for termite season. Ants, yeah, I had a carpenter ant one as well that I'm in touch with. How's it going there? What's that? Ben? How's it going there? Just started up my pest control business this year, working on building it up, about 2 to 3 new leads every week. That's not a bad start whatsoever. Ants this year in Indiana, where I'm at, have been bad. Good rainfall. Yeah, I'm guessing the rainfall has been kind of just nationwide. I mean, I know the whole Midwest and the South, we've been getting it, which I guess is Indiana classified as the Midwest? I don't even know for sure. But yeah, I know the rain has just been crazy this year. Everyone wants it done now before the 4th. I know. I literally had someone um, hit me up. It was like probably 20 minutes before we closed. Like even Google within your hour of close will say this business is closing soon or something like that. But the dude called us up, and I was in a house, or not in a house, I was in a daycare that I treat every quarter, and just couldn't answer. I don't find it professional to answer when I'm like in a house or in a building treating, so I don't. But I did when I had a quick second, just shot him a text like, hey, sorry, I'm in a house right now, or in a building right now treating. Let me know how I can assist you, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And he responded, I need service today. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen. I was like, earliest we can be out is Tuesday, unfortunately. And yeah, that was that. But yeah, you're exactly right there, Stony. Everyone's trying to get it in over the next few weeks before the 4th of July pops out. But yeah, no, speaking of what you were saying there, Ben, about 2 to 3 leads every week, with just starting out, that's not bad at all. I am interested to hear, I think you're a new viewer. I don't recall seeing you in the chat before on a live. Let us know down in the chat where you're getting most of your leads from. I know most common is through, like we always talk about, the Google Business Profile, and then also Google Local Services. Occasionally maybe Facebook ads, but I'm always interested to hear from other startups, where you guys are getting a lot of your leads from. Is it Yelp? I hear some good things about Yelp. I did very, very little with Yelp. I put like maybe $100 in it when I first started my business. Got a couple leads, but honestly, I don't even know if they were legit leads or not, because I'd message them, get charged for them, and then they never message back. It was like so weird. I'm new, but yeah, welcome. And yeah, welcome to all of y'all, by the way. I see we got a dozen of you tuning in on a Saturday night. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff. That way you don't miss any of these live streams or videos that we do for you guys. Anytime I do these live streams, a lot of times I'll have kind of a topic that I bring up towards the first, 15 minutes or so of the stream. But at the end of the day, they're straight up Q&A formats. So if you ever have any questions about starting your business, growing your business, anything of that nature, don't hesitate to shout it out in the chat. Let's see. Word of mouth mostly, friends, family, people we play volleyball with. Oh, okay. So yeah, a lot of the referral game. Yeah, man, in all honesty, I'm not very good at referrals. Like, I offer all my customers now a free service. And a lot of people think I'm crazy for this. I will say, though, I've had an increase in referrals since I started offering this. I offer a free service with no type of limit on it. Most people only refer like maybe 1 or 2 people anyways. But there's no cap on it where, if you refer us to somebody and they sign up for a continual service is the main thing. They can't sign up for just like a one time or anything like that. It has to be a continual service. If they sign up for a continual service, we will literally give you a whole service for free. Usually it's, about $100, $100 to $130. So we're giving away essentially by doing that. And the reason being is, again, if you all haven't seen the videos we've done about cost per acquisition, cost per lead, cost per acquisition with like Google Ads, Google Local Services, things of that nature, definitely go check those out, because you'll see that cost per acquisitions are usually pretty high. On the low end, they're $100, $150. On the higher end, they're $200 to $400 in some cases. So why would I be willing to spend all that money on these advertising platforms? People that I have no idea who they are, they have no idea who I am. They're not going to try to, scratch my back and I scratch theirs. Like, we will never know each other. Why should I be so willing to give them a bunch of money for no type of guarantee? A lot of times the leads suck, right? Where a lead that's coming to me from a customer is a very, what I call a hot lead, meaning they've already been kind of nurtured on what to expect, how the service works, what the pricing is like, which the pricing part can bite you in the butt sometimes, because the customer that refers their friend might have a 4,000 square foot house, and they tell them the pricing for their house, which is like 1,800 square foot, and you're like, yours is going to be a little higher. It is what it is. A lot of times, once you explain it to them, they're cool, but sometimes people get a stick up their butt about that. They think you're trying to get them because they're rich or something. And it's like, no, dude, I literally have to use more chemical, more time. If you want a good service, this is what it's going to take. But my point being is those leads are usually a lot better. They convert a lot higher. They're just great. So why would I not give my customers a full service for free? Again, give up, say, $120 to gain 500 to 600 or more in some cases a year. And then again, you get a domino effect because, say, they refer a person and then they refer a person, you start getting this compounding effect of referrals year after year after year. So that's kind of my 2 cents on offering. A lot of people go, oh, we offer $25. I'm like, bro, I offer $25 for a freaking review. Like, you're offering $25 for a referral? Like, good luck getting referrals with that. But again, that's just my experience. Some people it works for them to do that, and some people don't even offer nothing. They're just like, please give us referrals. We greatly appreciate it. Is what it is. A lot of times customers will tell me, you don't even need to give me any, a lot of times they forget because I'll send an email out once a year saying, hey, by the way, our referral program is if you refer us to anybody, it's a, free service for you, unlimited in terms of, you can refer us to 4 people in a year, you get a whole year of service for free, essentially, because there's 4 services a year for our quarterly customers. And, a lot of times they'll forget and be like, oh, no, you don't even have to do that. I appreciate your service, and I just like referring people out. And, yeah. Let's see. Mark, how's it going there? Do you get a good bit of BB calls, and what products do you... Oh, bedbug. Okay. It took me a second. I was like, Better Business Bureau? I didn't know what you were referring to. So do you get a good bit of bedbug calls, and what products do you prefer? So, honestly, they come in spurts, I've noticed. I don't know if it's like travel season, usually the winter is when I get a lot of my bed bug calls. Later summer, too. Again, I don't know if it's like the travel seasons. I would assume so, right? But it's nothing like super consistent or anything. Honestly, I get more termite calls than I get bed bug calls. I might get... And it may be, too, that I don't really optimize in terms of SEO, really. I had, like, one little Google ad running for bed bugs that wasn't even getting much search volume. So, again, that tells you that, the bed bugs come in spurts. But I would say on average, we only do maybe, like, half a dozen a year, if even that. Like, it's very, very sporadic. But I have done enough to where, I know what I like to use and things of that nature. Well, what I will usually use is either A, Temperate FX, or B, Alpine WSG. Those are usually kind of my 2 go-tos. For the longest, I was also putting in like Teco Pro IGR, like a growth regulator in there. But I found that's not really necessary. At least that's what kind of the quote-unquote science, which, take science for what it is after the COVID shit, right? But, a lot of scientific studies have shown that, IGRs on bed bugs don't really do much, if anything. So I pulled that out and haven't noticed a difference. So, why put more chemical in that's unnecessary, right? But yeah, with that, like I said, I've done plenty of bed bug jobs. I've only had to go back to one time. It was the most recent one I did back in like February. And I haven't heard from them since. That one was really bad. It was like a older, not trailer home, but it was like a modular home, and it was bad. It was a very bad situation. It was all throughout the house, every bedroom, but we got it knocked out still. And that one I believe we used Alpine WSG on that one, if I recall. Let's see. Ben said, I have a lead that my wife got me, which is my first multi-home wanting quarterlies. Each place has different services needed. Yeah, when you say multi-home owner, are you talking about like, is it a condominium? Is it a apartment, townhome? Like what type? Oh, let me see. You said 11 property. So is this Yeah. Is this like condos or actual homes, or because depending on, the structure setup, if it's something like condos or apartments, I don't think it's apartments since she says only 11 properties. But if it's something where they're kind of a complex, I would probably lean towards monthly or bi-monthly than quarterly, but it depends. Let's see. Tropical Fruit Loop says, are you always steaming on bedbug calls, or can you get by with? Oh yeah, no, I don't steam at all. As a matter of fact, I do, like I said a second ago, just chemical treatments is what I've done the whole time, and we haven't had anything but success going that route too. Um, let's see, apprehend kicks. I've never used that. As a matter of fact, I've heard some people in the group say that it works pretty good, but I have not used it. Rental homes also. So like single family homes, then it sounds like. Yeah, I mean if there's single family homes, then yeah, I mean quarterly probably be fine. But like you said, it sounds like some of them might have different services needs. So, you can, take from some of my older content about, how we can create bundles and things of that nature too. How's it going there, Topher? Topher Cruz. I'm opening up my business in a few weeks. What was your advice? Oh, what is your advice and strategy for day ones? I was going to put door hangers out. Pass flyers, go to establishments, leaving business card. Yeah, no, that's not a bad start. I would definitely, like I always mention, and I'm always beating the dead horse on, as a matter of fact, is, getting your Google business profile opened up as soon as possible, getting that verified, and then start optimizing the heck out of that once it gets verified as soon as possible, getting reviews, posting updates, posting photos, not stock photos. I don't mention that enough because a lot of you guys, whenever I do your little analysis of like your Google business page and your websites, a lot of you guys are using stock photos. What are stock photos? They're photos that just aren't yours. They're not authentic. They're not, real your business. They're stock photos. People can tell those are fake. They're not you. And it's a turnoff, not just for the customer, but for Google as well. Google is known to dock websites and business profiles that are using stock photos. So now, don't get me wrong. If you want to create a photo in like Canva, for example, like a post update, ideally you still don't want to use stock photos. But in some instances, there's a little bit of wiggle room there with that because you are at least creating that, not ad, but like flyer update, whatever you want to call it. But try to stay away from stock photos for the most part. Again, there are instances where you can at least implement them, but for the most part, that. And then, get on a bunch of these neighborhood groups on Facebook and all that near you. And, don't spam them or anything, but go in there and type in on Facebook. Like go into the group and then go into the search bar of the group and type in like pest control, termite, rodent, all these type of keywords that people are going to be using in their posts, and then find the posts that are most recent where they're asking for like referrals to companies, and then just simply introduce yourself. Don't try to like sell them on anything. Just say, hey, I don't know if you're still looking for, any of this, or not looking for any of this, looking for any service in this area, but if you ever need anything or have a question, feel free to shoot me a text or a call. Just introducing yourself. The digital marketing, digital world, whatever you want to call it, it's the new way of things. Doing everything like you mentioned too, like that's kind of like icing on the cake at this point. Me personally, anymore, I don't do any of it outside of some yard signs. I love putting yard signs and when I say yard signs, I'm not even saying those big ones. We're talking like yard flags almost more than anything. We'll put them in the front yard of every home that we treat. I've been needing to order some more for months, but you can get those from Blackburn, I believe is the name of the company, for pretty cheap usually. And we'll even put a specific tracking phone number on there. That way, if someone does call us, or the QR code as well, we have a specific landing page that we made for it. That way, if we get a website hit or a phone call, we know that it's actually coming from those as well. And I could go in all night on that subject. Let's see. How's it going there? DPG94. What is your protocol for bedbug reintroduction that keeps occurring when you can't clear. So I've never had a case where I haven't been able to clear an infestation, but all of our bed bug treatments come with a 90-day warranty, and we tell them, since it's a chemical treatment, we say give it 30 days, and then if after 30 days you're having an issue, let us know, and we'll come do it again. But I've never had one like I said, I've dealt with some doozies, even the one I just did recently back in February. But I've never, now you use the word reintroduction, so that almost makes it sound like you got rid of the issue, but then they were reintroduced. Now, like I tell them, it's warranted on the current activity. If the activity goes away, but then it comes back after that like 90-day period, we're doing a whole nother job. Like, you're being charged again. Like, it's not, it's not bulletproof, because they're, like ticks. They're a pest, like you said, that has to be reintroduced. They have to be brought in. They're not just popping up out of nowhere. So yeah, hopefully that kind of answers the question. If you have like a follow up to it or something, feel free to drop it in the chat. Let's see. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. If you are, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. I'm trying to be better about like remembering that kind of stuff, because it helps other people that could benefit from the content see it, and lets me know that you guys like when we do these streams and all that good stuff too. Let's see. What strategy did you use to price out your services? I'm always worried I'm asking too low for certain services, but change my minimum to 85 for a job. Stony says my minimum is 125 out, only 85. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking quarterly services, my new minimum is for an initial service, bare minimum 100 to 120. Depending on distance that we have to drive and things like that. But 100, 120 for the initial is the minimum. Again, the minimum is the key word there. And then our like continual quarterly rate going forward, the bare minimum is usually around 30, 35 a month. So, right around, $90 to $105 a month. Or not a month, $90 to $105 per quarter, that is. And again, that's the minimums, right? But, in terms of other services, like, of course, I have commercial accounts that we go out to monthly. Again, they still have an initial service, just like everyone else does. And then usually those are cheaper. Of course, when you're going out to a place monthly or even bi-weekly or bi-monthly, obviously the pricing, is adjusted from there. Like those commercial monthly accounts, smaller kitchen, pretty small place, you're talking usually 85 to 95 per treatment. But I always say, when you're in business, it's not a bad idea once every year or two to call up half a dozen companies in your area, or more if you got the time to do it. Call up half a dozen of them and just literally get their price. Like, just call in like you're a customer looking for service, and just get the rundown on everything. Don't just get their like quarterly pest control quote. Be like, yeah, no, I'm having some mosquitoes. Yeah, I'm also having some ticks. Yeah, I'm also having some what's some other stuff? Fire ants. If you're in the South where we get fire ants, like literally get the price for everything. That way kind of what you're competing with. I'm not big on, worrying about the competition. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying obsess over what their pricing is or anything. I've only done it once since I've been in business, as a matter of fact, because usually I can get a good idea without even calling them. I'll just go in here and I'll look at different ads. Like I'll say pest control, Plano, Texas, for example. And I'll see right off the bat, first ads that are popped up. Funny, it's showing me what my ad would look like. Let's see. Trying to find an ad since it was showing me mine. So save 100. Damn, that must be an expensive initial. Save 150 on your first service. How much is the initial? Good God. Let's see. That might be save 150 off the year, and it might just be worded wrong. Let's see. First service $99. First service $120. see. Like I said, you can get a general idea, and then from there, figure out where do you want to be. Again, this goes back to what kind of company do you want to be? Do you want to be a premium company that you are literally doing things, which again in a service industry can be tough because there's only so much you can do that you can say, oh, the other guys aren't including this, we include this in this service, yada yada yada, before you're just like every other company. But you have to decide, are you going to be, we talk about this all the time, are you going to be pricing your stuff at the cheapest so you can maximize how quick you grow? Or are you going to go kind of, again, we're the premium service, we're the premium price, and you're going to be you're going to be growing slower because of that, but you're going to get a lot more of the clientele that you actually want. Us personally, we're not literally the top. I always say we're the top 20% is where we're at. So, and again, in terms of price, in terms of dollars, like some of y'all are talking about, this is going to vary based on literally not even just state by state, but even city by city, suburb by suburb. I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth, where, we've got like 8 to 10 million people across the entire Metroplex. I cannot price a service in far east Dallas, out towards where I live, out towards like Rockwall, Royce City, far east Dallas, Texas, the same way that I would price a home in the Willow Bend neighborhood in West Plano, where the average home is over $1 to $4 million. Like, you just can't. So, I mean, the pricing is going to vary. It's just, like I said, get an idea based on your competitors, and then, like we said, decide what type of company you want to be. $160 initial in Arizona, $175 in Pennsylvania, and then thanks. That's really helpful. MB, how's it going? MB, do you have any employees at the moment? No, I had some last year, or I had a 1099 guy, and then I had our first W-2 employee that we hired last year. It ended up being a blessing in disguise that it did not work out with him, because we made a couple of dumb financial decisions that I've mentioned on this channel. I actually have a whole video dedicated to it, actually. It's called like my most costly mistake as a six-figure business owner, something like that. Talk about how it costs literally over $25,000. But, and like we've done the math on a few live streams in the past, it actually is more like an $80,000 mistake when you factor in all the lost revenue because of just that one mistake. But yeah, I'm kind of at that point now where, like, in all honesty, I probably should be hiring, but I'm just essentially forcing myself to work my D word in the dirt to where, I have to literally have not enough time in a day to get the route done. Once I get to that point, we'll go ahead and pull the trigger. Me and my wife were just talking about it. Like, I'm going to have no choice, by this winter. This winter, early spring, I'm not going to have a choice just because, I mean, I'm already, like I said, already to the point where we're missing out on some opportunities. I'm not able to dedicate enough time to the SEO. In all honesty, I probably shouldn't even be doing as many videos and streams as I do right now. I should be dedicating all of that time that I do have to the SEO and everything, but I'm getting just enough of it done to at least, keep the calls coming in, keep our rankings, slowly but surely trending where we want them, all that type of stuff. But yeah, no, like I said, we've had like 2 different 1099 guys who would handle like all of our rodent exclusion work. Actually just got another one. He's not 1099, he's actually his own company, and now we've kind of worked out a, almost like a lead gen where, like, when I get leads for that we can't do, I'm just sending them to him and he's giving me, X amount for those leads, regardless if they close or not. But yeah, like I said, in the past we've had actual 1099 guys, and then we had the one W2 guy who, like I said, it didn't, for those of you that have been following for a while, you know, I documented hiring him and all that stuff. And after like a month or so, it just didn't work. He wasn't, reliable, wasn't really showing up, always had some sort of excuse. And, he wasn't a bad guy. Like, I mean, I wish the best for him and all that. But like I said, it was all blessing in disguise because, we were not in the position to be like trying to hire full time like that. And, the Lord works in mysterious ways. My worst thing I've done is have my engine spin a bearing. Oh man, that sucks. And then we also had a $6,000 transmission that we had to replace in a truck that I was literally looking at selling. I took it off Marketplace because I was getting a bunch of lowball offers. Should have just took the lowball offers because literally like a month after that, I had that video go up on the channel about how the transmission had what they identified as a slow leak, meaning like you really had no idea the transmission was leaking until it was too late. And yeah, it pretty much needed a whole new transmission put in it. So that was fun. Last year was just kind of what I call Murphy's Law year. It was one of those years where like, I'm not going to say anything that could go wrong went wrong, but there was quite a bit in last year where it was just like, I got a lot of gray hairs that are popping up in this beard now from how last year treated us. But hey, we made it. Another year alive, another year of the business specifically being alive, and again, growing on top of that. We're continuing to still have growth. Now that we got moved into our house and we're saving, $2,000+ a month when you combine how much we're saving on the rent that we were paying at that house, utilities. Our first electric bill just came in and it was like $105. Where again, if you guys have been following for a while, the house that we moved into previously was the mistake that I'm talking about. The rent was like $3,300 a month. The utilities were stupid. Electric this time of year was like $700 a month. Where, like I said, our first electric bill here just came in and it was like $109. My jaw about hit the floor when I saw how cheap it was compared to our previous home. So, now that we're getting settled in and we're getting everything kind of right and in order budget wise, like I said, we're definitely on the up and up from here. It's we just got to get through the summer is the main thing. We get through the summer, which most people you would hear in this industry say we got to get through the winter, right? For us, it's the opposite. It's just get through the summer and then it's off to the races. Beauty of living in the South. We got pest issues all year round down here. Wings of Fire said, I'm back. Nice to have you back. JVJ, good evening, sir. Do you plan on doing a video about the new? Oh man, I totally forgot about that. Going into effect September 4th. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. In all honesty, too, I want to do like more research into it as well. Not just state what I already know, just kind of off the top of my head, if that makes sense. Because if I went into it just knowing what I know, it'd be like I could do it in like a short, in all honesty, like a little 60-second clip. But I want to also dive into it just a little bit, figure out all of the nitty gritty little details in there. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward overall, but want to make it in depth enough to where it's more than just a 30 to 60-second answer. Shepherd of Death. Been a while since we've seen you in the chat. I'm assuming you meant truck. He said bought a taco that has around 180,000 miles. Yeah, I'm assuming he meant truck. 180,000 miles. Runs well. I'm hoping it lasts me another 3 to 5 years. Yeah, 180. Oh, Tacoma. Yeah, Tacoma. A Tacoma. I know those things, if they're taken care of and things of that nature, which if it has 180,000 on it and it's still running pretty good, then I'm sure it has been. But if they're taken care of, they can literally go 300,000 plus before, going ahead and bye-bye. Before they, die out on you. So, yeah. I was trying to think. Oh, yeah. I was going to pull up more questions because I had some pulled up here. Questions and comments overall. Like I said, I haven't been able to keep up lately. The end of the week was pretty damn busy for me. Usually on Fridays, for example, I try to get home relatively early, wrap up some just general office stuff, and I did not get home Friday until like 5 o'clock, which for some of you, 5 o'clock might seem pretty early, but usually on Fridays, I try to get home between like 2 to 3 if possible. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, yeah, Xavier Pest on one of our live streams, the Pest Control Business Startup Guide from April 6th of this year said, can you suggest a sample invoice? And just so everyone knows, if we get that question again and you're watching right now, of course, they're all on GorillaDesk. We don't make our own invoice or anything like that. Everything that we use is already on GorillaDesk. It's the CRM that we use, of course, like most of you that have been following for a while know. If you want to learn more about it, of course, link is in the description where you can try the pro version 14 days for free. I don't own that company or anything. Like most of y'all know, they just hooked you all up with an affiliate link recently where you can try that out. But yeah, the invoices are on there. It's all electronic. You can even have e-signatures on it, all that good stuff. Let's see. Do we have any other questions so far in the chat? Nothing so far. And yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. I see we're up to like 7 likes so far. If you're appreciating the stream and you've gotten any value from it so far, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up. If you know anyone that would benefit from it, share it with them, all that good stuff. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and also subscribe, hit that bell icon, all that good fun stuff that we won't miss any of our future live streams or videos. Let's see. Trying to see if I have any other good questions or comments in here that you all would benefit from. What did you use before GorillaDesk? I heard of BrowStack. Yeah, BrowStack is actually, they originated from the state that I grew up in. I didn't use anything but, technically speaking, when I first launched my business, everything was through Square. I was doing Square for payment. I had Square appointments where like you have a calendar, it's a piss poor version of a CRM, essentially. It was free, right? I was like, I'm already using Square for my payment processing that at the time we no longer do. We use Stripe now. We've been using Stripe since we switched over to GorillaDesk because it integrates into GorillaDesk free and easy. But, I was like, man, the Square Stripe Reader and all that stuff, it integrates obviously with Square Appointments to where you just use Square as your CRM, your payment processing, all that. And I used it until I had about 5 to 10 customers, and I was like, dude, this sucks. I was like, this is awful. I'm going to go ahead and go to GorillaDesk now, because I already knew about GorillaDesk before I started my business. But, like I always tell you guys, when it comes to spending money on your business at all, you like to have proof of concept before you just dive in and start spending money here, spending money there, spending money. Like, just like with any of these softwares I talk about, CallRail I wasn't using until I was like 1 year into business. GorillaDesk, I was in business for about a month before I started using. OpenPhone, we literally just started using OpenPhone last year, 3 years in. Just anything, software and all this stuff. I like to see more and more proof of concept. What do I mean by proof of concept? Recurring income going up, because that's the beauty of like using a good CRM like GorillaDesk is you can forecast out what is our what do you call it, our sales forecast for 2024, 2025, so on and so on. You can literally see it month by month based on your recurring income. And then from there, when I see that recurring income growing, then I'm willing to take on more and more quote unquote risk or investments or whatever the case may be. But yeah, like I said, I didn't use anything else unless if you want to count Square appointments as a CRM, which I definitely would not. Let's see. I'm just, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, while you all are asking any questions you may have, I'm just like scrolling through the comments, looking for any questions or comments that might be good for you guys. I try to do this from time to time. I know it's been a while since I've like gone through the comments. Yeah, I'm back. I'm like scrolled through like the last month or so of comments. So yeah, that's pretty much all of, like the questions and comments and things of that nature that we've had like recently over the last month. If you all have any other questions or anything real quick, feel free to shoot them in the chat. Again, if you're new to me, just wondering who the hell is this guy on my live feed, my name is Griffin Thomas. I own a pest control company, Preferred Pest Management, in the Dallas, Texas area. Been in business, about 4 years now, and I just document that overall business journey for you guys. I started that business with zero. Took it from zero to six figures my first year. I by no means have all the answers or anything like that whatsoever. Like I said, I'm just documenting my overall journey at this point, and letting you guys know things that work, things that don't work. If things progress how they're progressing, we're shooting for 225,000 this year. I don't know I'm trying to pull up like what we're looking at for next year already. Actually, I still got to put some stuff in for next year because I had two customers sign up Friday afternoon, one for our bundle that we talk about, our preferred protection plan, where it's usually around $120 a month. We just had someone sign up for that Friday, and then we had another customer sign up for just like general pest control, which was another $40 a month. So we just added Friday alone $160 a month to our top line over the next year. So, I don't even know what that adds up to. What is that, like $1,700-$1,800? One time I don't have my calculator pulled up here. Let's see, 160 times 12. 1920 actually. $1,920. So as of now, in terms of like recurring income, month over month, year over year, we have over $120,000 currently of recurring income. So we've officially cracked a $10,000 a month average in terms of recurring income every single month. So I guess that's kind of a milestone. And then, like I said, this year overall, if we keep going at the rate that we are going, there's a decent chance that we'll definitely hit that 200 to 225. If we didn't sell anything the rest of the year, we'd already be over 150. So, we still got all of June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 7 months essentially. So, what do we need to do to hit 200K in terms of month over month additional sales? 50K divided by 7 months. Ooh, we definitely got to sell. We got to do a little over 7,000 a month, about 7.2 $7,200 essentially per month. That's gonna be hey, like I was saying, you got to do the math to figure out where you're going. You first have to know the map, right? You have to be able to map it out, and to be able to map it out, you got to do the math ultimately. So yeah, we'll be close on that for sure. Because I mean, I've had some months this year already where we've done like 10K in sales. Yeah, I mean, we've had some months where we've definitely sold more than that. So yeah, I mean, like I said, that's kind of the goal at this point, is to hit that, have our first 200K year. Thought we were gonna hit it last year, but we came up just a little bit short. Um, so is what it is. More importantly than even like hitting that goal, I've kind of switched my mindset more to like, I'm focusing more on how much recurring income are we adding. Like, sure, it's cool to sell a $2,100 termite job, like I just $2,200 termite job like I did on Thursday. That'll be going later this month, and those jobs are great. I call those the bill payers, because a $2,100 job that pays rent and our electric bill for the month, right? Like, those are cool, but they're not necessarily adding to your top line year over year. Sure, you can get the termite renewal, but those are 50-50 in terms of people keeping them or canceling them, and they're only like $200 to $300 a year on top of that. So it's not something that's necessarily like a needle mover or anything like that. I'm focusing heavy on trying to add recurring general pest control, preferred protection plan. If you're wondering what's the preferred protection plan, that's a bundle that we created, which covers pretty much every pest that we cover: general pest control, mosquito, ticks, fire, ant prevention, rodent bait stations on the outside, and then termite prevention with like Trelona bait stations around the house as well. So, like I said, just Friday afternoon alone, we added $160 a month in terms of that new recurring income. So that is what I'm like shifting my focus to. Sure, I like having my goals like for the year, 200K, 500K, whatever your goal is for the year. But most importantly, how much are we growing that recurring revenue? Because that is what is ultimately going to make your business a true asset that you could sell someday, hire people in, pull money out of, all that type of stuff. Where do you get all your CEUs done? Do you go online or go to Texas A&M conference? So I just go to the Texas Department of Agriculture website, and they have like a list of course providers. There's the beauty now, ever since COVID, is every other year you can do it online too. So there's a guy in the Plano, Texas area, older gentleman. I forget his name off the top of my head because it's been almost 2 years now since I went. Because this past year I was able to do my CEUs online, but the year before that I went to him, and the year before that I went to him as well. And yeah, so now you can do it online 1 year, in person next, online next, in person next, so on and so on. But yeah, I go to the Texas Department of Agriculture page to get that usually, and most of them are, I believe, around like $100 to $200 a year. Let's see. When you first started your business, did you make enough to get by? I did not work. Well, pause. I did not work part time, as in like actually went to another business, but I did do a tiny little bit of DoorDash and Uber Eats. A very little amount, but I did do a little amount. It was more so just to kind of maintain our lifestyle more than anything. Whenever I, like I said, sold my car, cashed out the 401k, I had about $8,000 left roughly, just under 10K. And, we had to put 2,000 down on the truck. Obviously I had to, get a rig, all this, pretty much half of that money gone, instantly from starting the business, licensing, all that stuff, labeling the truck, all that. But I still did have a couple of $1,000s to start investing into, obviously, like the website, the marketing, things of that nature. And like I said, within about a month or so, the leads from Google Local Services were coming in at such a rapid rate that, thankfully my wife had just gone back to work after taking like a year off with our firstborn. And, she was making just enough. She wasn't making enough where her income alone was covering our cost of living, but it was kind of carrying us for a little bit in terms of like she was covering, I would say, about 70% of our like quote unquote cost of living there for a minute. But yeah, I did do some DoorDash a little bit. I remember, as a matter of fact, I would work some nights until like 1 a.m., just because you'd have to, any of you that have done like DoorDash, Uber Eats, things of that nature, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. Like, you just get on there some evenings and it would just be clicking all night. And you're just like, dude, I'm going to keep going. I'm doing like $30, $40 an hour. Like, you do not want to stop. I mean, I would start at like 6, 7 p.m. after we'd put the firstborn down, and then I would do it for 5 or 6 hours and make like $150, $200 in like 5 or 6 hours. So I was like, dude, I'm gonna keep going until the orders stop coming in. And then finally, after just a little bit, like I said, I probably had to do that my first like 3 months in business. And then once we had that first month back in 2021, it was like, what, either February or March. Let me pull up. Let me see if I can go that far. No, why can't I go? Man, GorillaDesk needs. This is one thing. Or hold on. Let me not dog GorillaDesk yet. Let's go back in here. Because you can customize this. Let's see. Let me go in here. January. Oh, dude, come on. Y'all are killing me. Why is it doing this, man? There we go. 2021. Okay. So yeah, March of 2021 was that first month we hit like right at $10,000. Pretty much from that month on, didn't have to do it anymore. I wanted to confirm because I knew it was either February or March. Yeah, we didn't have to do anything after that. But yeah, there for a minute, like I said, you do what you got to do just to kind of make sure that you don't get yourself in a situation. Matter of fact, funny enough, I took a vacation. I say vacation. I went to go visit family for like 4 or 5 days in the Midwest, like our third month in business. Otherwise, our February or January, one of those 2 months, would have been a lot more. But yeah, when we hit like 10K in March, after that, it was just kind of off to the races. Funny enough, I'm looking at this month. Um, we had a couple months there, March, April, May, where we did, 10K plus. Then June, because again, 2021 was kind of our first full year. We started in 2020, but our first full year was 2021. June of 2021, we literally did just under $5,000. Like, just to put in perspective, the wild swings that you have that first year. Like, look at this. February 2021. This was like month 3, month 4 in business. $1,500. March, $9,800. April, $12,500. May, 7,900. June, like I said, just under 5. July, just under 6. August, almost 11. September, 15,300. Like, see how violent those swings are? Like, when you have those really big months, I beg you guys, put away as much of it. I say put away, not put away like, in like a IRA or anything like that, but like put enough of that money away to where when you have one of these violent swings where you go from 15K down to 5, you've got a little cushion of oh shit money, right? Where you're like, man, this month sucked. This was June. This is tradition. Oh, you know what? I got married that month. I was wondering, I was like, dude, why the hell was June so bad? I got married and we had our honeymoon, so I was pretty much out of the office for a week and a half that month. So there is a little caveat with that. Like, take that with a grain of salt. But still, even working, almost 3 weeks out of that month, to only hit $4,600 is crazy. Um, but yeah, I mean, shoot, yeah. Looking back on that, I don't remember it being that violent. I don't know how I didn't lose my freaking mind. I'm sure I did, and I just don't really remember it at this point. But my gosh, yeah, good times. Those are the days though. Like those are the days where like you have the most fun, in my opinion. Because like I said, I don't even remember me being like stressed out. I think I was on this like euphoria of the new business owner. Like I'm just happy. Like dude, people are calling me. People are doing business with me. Like I'm building a reputation. I'm building a brand. Like you're riding this like euphoria that like you can't even really explain, to where like sure you may be stressed out like dude this month kind of sucks, but the phone's still ringing, and every time that phone rings like you're just on this high because like I said, I can't explain it. Any of you guys that are in your own business, drop us a comment in the chat. Let us know if you kind of resonate with what I'm talking about. What's up there, Bug Out, Termite Pest? Oh, dude, if you're still tuning in, rewind back, I don't know how many minutes, guys. When did we bring up his comment about the question about roach cleanouts or roach treatments? It was sometime earlier in the stream. You're going to have to go back. I apologize. It may have been 30 minutes. It may have been 50 minutes at this point. I forget when we brought it up, but we did answer your question in depth about the roach treatments, how I price them, how we go about doing that. So, yeah, once the stream wraps up, you'll have to kind of play around with the timeline, and because yeah, we answered that too for you. Oh, there you are, right there. Yeah, I didn't even see where you brought it up again. Yeah, like I said, you'll have to at the end of the stream swipe back a little bit. I know it was sometime within the last like, let's see, we're at 71, 72 minutes. I would say it had to have been somewhere around like roughly minute 15 to 20 to minute 50, somewhere within that like half hour range. So, yeah, and if anyone remembers off the top of their head that's in here still, feel free to let him know as well. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I saw a question from somebody. Will White. Hopefully you're still tuning in. What's the difference between CallRail and OpenPhone? Yeah, so I use both because OpenPhone is essentially kind of, it's like a hybrid of a VoIP and a CRM. So you can't do marketing tracking through OpenPhone, but CallRail, that's pretty much solely what it's for. It's for like marketing tracking. So like, you have your phone numbers with CallRail for tracking, but you also have form tracking that you can set up on your website as well with CallRail. So we use both. I wish either CallRail would adopt kind of an open phone system, which would kind of eliminate the use for open phone. As much as I love them, it'd be great for either one or the other to kind of get their shit together and either merges. There's a great idea. CallRail and open phone hit each other up, merge together, be one company, because that'd be awesome for them to be one company where, I'm to the point now where I've got CallRail for marketing tracking. I've got OpenPhone for, our quote unquote sales team, me and my wife, to be able to all get our phones rung at the same time and automated messages and all this other stuff, right? And then we got GorillaDesk for the actual CRM. So we got 3 different softwares, and that's where knowing how to use a tool like Zapier, where you can, kind of connect all of them with very minimal quote unquote coding, to where they'll all kind of talk to each other. Like the moment we get off the phone, a lead gets entered into GorillaDesk based on the call carrier information. Now, is always the call carrier information right? No. For example, had a guy call me up Friday. His name, I don't even remember his name now. We'll just say James, for example. James, like I said, I don't even remember his name. We'll just say like James Ramirez, right? Or James Ramirez, whatever you want to call him. And it showed up as either his wife or his mom's name. It showed like Claudia Ramirez or something. So, I had to go in there and like edit the first name, right? But it'll at least enter the lead in there to where we have to do minimal work, because every second that you're having to type information in, you got to think about it. Like we always talk about, if you're not doing it, who's doing it? An employee. So you got to think every second an employee is having to do something, that is money that you're having to pay them. Or if you can automate a lot of this, again, even if you have to go in there and edit one or two things, it still speeds up the overall process. The phone number's already entered in, at least the last name at the minimum's entered in. You go in there, tweak the first name, you put an email in, which again, we have our CallRail form tracking linked to GorillaDesk as well. So when someone submits a form, this is even better than the call zap, because it takes all that information from the form, puts it in GorillaDesk as a lead. Everything's right, perfect format, first name, last name, email address, phone number. And if you have address in your form, which I don't suggest, but if you do, even the address will pop up in there. And then all you got to do is create the job. So again, by learning how to do all that, which we have videos on, by the way, if you haven't, checked out all the content we have over here, we have videos showing how to set up zaps and all that good stuff. Definitely get on that, because it'll make your life so much easier. But hopefully that kind of answers that question, probably more in depth than you were even looking for. King Matt said, if you have time, I just finished location service page. Can you check it out? Try to follow your advice. Yeah, if you're still in here, King Matt, let me know what the URL is, and I'll just type it in real quick and take a look. Will White said thanks. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, if you want to, like I said, most of you all know Open Phone also just hit us up. They saw the video that I did just like a week ago about Open Phone, and they're hooking you guys with 10% off your first 3 months if you use the little referral link or whatever down below. Like anything on my channel, I don't recommend anything that I don't use, and not just that I don't use, but that I haven't put through like a vigorous test. Like I've been using Open Phone now for about a year. Our renewal is set for end of July. So, and we pay for the whole year up front. So, like I said, we've been using them for about a year now. That's why I finally made like a full in-depth video about them. And then the actual owner, or the co-founder, whatever you want to call it, she's seen the video like a day or two after it was posted and reached out to me through email and on Twitter actually. And yeah, they hooked you all up with a little 10% discount off your first 3 months as well. And I think there's even a free trial in there, as a matter of fact. So yeah, if you all want to try Open Phone now, same thing with GorillaDesk. Those links will give you the best deal. And if you're one of those followers of mine who are like, how can we help you? The best way you can help me is always just use those links. I don't ask you guys to pay me money for consultation or any of this crazy stuff. Just using those links, that means the world to me. Let me see, do we have anything else in here? And like I said, if you're not already subscribed, of course, hit that. As always, hit the subscribe button. Should be somewhere around here. I don't know if it's up here, down here, somewhere in there. I guess it depends if you're watching on a tablet, phone, computer, all that. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff. And if you haven't already, smash the thumbs up button on the stream as well. I'm just waiting if King Matt's tuning in for that URL. That way we can take a look at it and kind of break it down. Oh man, I don't have no more drink left in here. I got like one sip. Look at that little tiny sip I got left. You know what that means? I'm gonna go to Old Reliable. Come on now. Let's see, my bad. No, you're good. Yeah, like I said, just drop that URL down there, and I'll take a look. What's the name of the company again? added the Baker. Oh yeah, 661. That's right. Come on, man. There we go. All right, so I see we got, like you said, Bakersfield in the heading. That's a good start there. I see in your H1, your search for the best pest control in Bakersfield ends here. That's another great add-on there. Find out why we are Bakersfield's best pest control. Yeah, that's a great change already. Let me look at that actual service page too. Pest control, Bakersfield, California. Spotting bugs in around your Bakersfield home. Oh, did you do what I think you did? Looks like you did. I was looking at where you have the actual like services like spider control, ant control, where it says Bakersfield. The only thing okay. One thing I would change about these, where it's your spider control one, for example. When I look at the URL, it says 661pestsolutions.com/spider. How we want this URL structured, the page is set up good in terms of SEO, it looks like, but it's not linking up using that silo structure. How this should be reading is 661pestsolutions.com/Bakersfield, and it says Bakersfield Services. I would change that to Bakersfield Pest Control Services. But then after that, it would say /, like here it just says spider. I would change that to like spider control or spider treatment. Something again that like people are searching for, if that makes sense. I'll show you an example real quick. Like I'll show you kind of in real time. Bring you guys on a little travel here. So see what I'm talking about here with your URL? How it just says /spider. We want that to be after Bakersfield pest control. Again, we want to change this to say like pest control services. But, like I said, I'll show you an example here. Matter of fact, it'd be quicker if I just go over here probably. Maybe. Make me re-sign in. Come on. You said, so I already had made those spider pages. Should I keep those? You can keep it. You just want to change the URL. So, for example, we have labels here, right? So what I would do is, let's go into the Plano, Texas one. Filter. And then let's say this fire ant one, for example. So when we view this page, see how the URL structure, you have homepage, service location, pest control, Plano, Texas, and then underneath that is fire ants in Plano, Texas. How do you get that to pop up like that? Again, we go into edit, you scroll down, and then you see where it says page attributes, parent page. The parent page is the Plano, Texas. So that is how you would get that to link like that, if that makes sense. Let's see. Is it okay that my homepage and service page, and service page both link to them? Both link to the service location page, or link to the spider control page? Because the spider control page, once you go in there and edit it like we're talking, it's going to be linking up to the Plano one. So you don't want it, how do I describe this? like you don't necessarily want it linking to the home page. You would want it just linking, any of your internal linking just kind of going up. So you'd have that spider page linking up to the Plano or Bakersfield for you, linking up to the Bakersfield one, and then the Bakersfield linking up to your home page, if that makes sense. That's what I would do. Because yeah, you don't want to start, linking here and then going over it and linking here. Like you want a nice, think of it like a little tree graph essentially. Like you don't want your branches going around the next one up, right? Like your spider page is down here. You want it linking up to that Bakersfield page, which will then link up to the home page. You don't want it, you know, going, linking up, but then going around and linking up past it too, if that makes sense. Because it's already on your header. It's on your header already. The fact that you have it on your header, it's already linking to the home page. I mean, another way you could do it is like if you're looking for pest control services in, or it doesn't even say in, if you're looking for pest control services, you could hyperlink it and link it to your home page that way as well. But the fact that that page is on the header means that like it's going to be linked to every page that it's on the header on, so it'll be linked to the home page automatically. Demon Max is the best at killing spiders. Yeah, Demon works pretty good. I've switched over to Onslaught Fast Cap just because it does spiders and scorpions, so it's kind of a two birds with one stone for us. Both are expensive too, so. Got it. Thanks for that. Yeah, no problem. Have to work on my God. I'm so tired of working on blogs, man. That's actually why I did a that's why I did a YouTube video stream tonight, because I was like, YouTube stream or type up a couple blog posts. And I was like, it's been a couple days. Let's go ahead and do a YouTube stream instead. I'll probably be up another 2 hours after the stream doing at least one or two blog posts real quick. But I was not in the mood tonight to be doing those, just keeping it 100. Yep. Yeah, I treat the blog post like I would a service page underneath of the service location page. Occasionally, you can go ahead and link it, one block further down and link to that actual service, but it doesn't really matter either way. But I personally just like sending all of that link juice up to the service location page. That way we're not like over optimizing pages that we don't really give a shit whether they rank or not, right? Like let's be real. Why would we want spider control in Bakersfield to be worried about ranking, right? Like the main page that we know is going to get the most leads is what? Pest control Bakersfield. So we're going to send all that link juice up to that. Grind makes me, yeah, man. I use ChatGPT. I'll show you guys the prompt. Oh shit. I'll show you guys the prompt. That'll be a good little blooper someday to put like a live stream bloopers. Man, we just had like everybody drop off. Do we have a stream issue? Huh. That's weird. Let me see. What am I gonna type in? Oh yeah, ChatGPT. No. Dude, this thing's pissing me off. I'm gonna have to disable that. So the prompt that I use, where are we at? find it for you. So what I do is, let's see, this is the prompt that I give it. So I tell it, for this conversation, I need you to think like an expert in Google SEO for a pest control company. And then it tells you a bunch of BS that we don't really care about. So then we scroll down and we say, knowing this, I need you to take this blog post and make it SEO friendly using proper H1, H2, H3 headlines and plug in any necessary keywords as you see fit. I also need you to make sure this blog post is grammatically correct. Do you understand? And then we usually have some kind of like this is where like we are doing the work ourselves. Like I already have some text that I've kind of already like an outline almost. And then I just give it to it and then voila, it turns it into a blog post with H1, H2, H3, conclusion. You can tell it like, can you add a Q&A to this? How many words does it have? Obviously this wasn't enough. I want 1,000 words. And then voila, we get like a whole, again, like an article. And then of course, like again, like I even mentioned, like we had our own outline to begin with. Even once you give it that, there's going to be some tweaking. There's going to be some stuff you take out, you put in. Like, it doesn't make it where you just don't have to do anything, but it speeds up the work big time. So, yeah, definitely use these tools to your all's advantage. Because it makes a huge difference in the end. And being that I just chewed that gum right there, I will be lasered in to do some blog posts once we wrap up this live. But yeah, it looks like we pretty much lost everybody. So yeah, no, if we don't have any other questions or anything, oh, let me see here. Are you just copy and pasting more? Yeah, no, yeah, I guess I kind of already addressed that. Yeah, like I said, it's not like we're just copy and pasting it. We'll go in there, usually there's at least one thing at the minimum that we're like, that's awful, take that out. Or, like I said, we'll tweak some things here and there. We'll plug in some stuff that, makes it more human-like, like plugging in, obviously, our business name, plugging in our hyperlinks to link up, all that different type of stuff. And then usually, of course, we'll add in, like, our contact us form, some photos, things of that nature, right? I use Elementor and add blocks one by one. Yeah, I tried using Elementor. Matter of fact, I paid for it for the whole year, and I don't know if it's because I've used Gutenberg so long or what, but I just couldn't really get a hang of Elementor. It's something where I'm sure if I dedicated 40 to 80 hours to it, I could probably figure it out, but, is what it is. But yeah, like I said, hopefully you all, as always, took a lot from this stream. I hope you all had a good one in here again tonight. It was awesome to see, upwards of a dozen of you guys in here tonight on a Saturday. It just shows how many of you all are actually dedicated to this game we call business. Matter of fact, I'm sure my wife's not the happiest camper with me right now because we had a graduation party for her sister for high school. Shout out to her for graduating and whatnot. But, I left. I don't even know if she's left yet. I left like 4 hours ago because I was like, I need to go home. I got stuff I need to do. Got a stream I need to throw up. Got these blogs that I need to type up. I just got shit that I got to do at the end of the day. So, it takes dedication out here regardless of what you're doing business-wise. And as always, like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy it and took some valuable information from it. I find the free plugins. yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys did take a lot of information from it. If you're tuning in after this goes from a live to a video and you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. And if you have any questions as well, once it goes from a live to a video and you joined us too late, don't hesitate to drop that down in the comments down below. Like it, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your weekend.